Hey guys, Justin with ExtremeTerrain.com, and in this installment of What's Up With That, we are taking on the side step category to break down the many different styles and designs. Nerf bars, running boards, drop steps, rock sliders, and power steps. We'll talk about the pros, we'll talk about the cons, and hopefully help you guys decide what step is gonna be best for your rig. All right guys, just a quick heads up here. For the purposes of this video, we are gonna be showing you a lot of examples with our four-door. Just know most, if not all of these examples can also be found for your two-door Bronco as well. So the basic idea of a side step, pretty simple, right? Help you and your passengers get in and out of your stock or lifted 6th gen a little bit easier, along with adding some visual attributes or maybe even some protection at the same time. However, some are going to be more helpful than others when it comes to entry, exit, and protection, and some will even go as far as combining both. So with all that said, let's get into things here, and let's start with our most popular option currently on the site, and that is the side step bar. Now this option does go by a few different names, including a Nerf bar or side step bars, as we just said. And as the name implies, the step will be circular or oval in shape like a bar. Now, the particular steps that we're showing you in this video come to us from Red Rock with their 5-inch offering featuring the 60-degree ends in black. And these are still hands down one of the most popular steps currently on the site for your Bronco. Now, one of the cool things I do like to point out about the step bars in particular is the infinite amount of options owners have when choosing. For instance, you can get these in 3, 4, 5-inch, even 6-inch diameters in some case. You can get them with different end designs, such as a straight bar design, 60-degree ends, 90-degree ends, and most will be done in black here as opposed to chrome, at least at this time for the Broncos. Pros here will be the affordable price tag along with the very sporty or cool looking design, but biggest con I would say is gonna be the limited amount of traction surface located on the bar itself. Now with the Red Rock, sure, you do get 2 sizable plastic traction areas for both the front and rear passengers. However, if you needed to step anywhere else on the bar to maybe access a roof rack or something else, you want to be extra careful as those non-traction surfaces can get very slick when wet or snowy. But ultimately guys, the step bars will continue to be a super popular choice here on the site thanks to the bang for your buck along with that sporty look. Up next, we have another very popular style in the category, and that is the running board. Now, unlike our previous option, the running board will offer traction essentially the entire length of the board from tip to tip, which is going to be one of the biggest pros in my humble opinion. Now, the running boards we're talking about here today are going to be the RB20s from Go Rhino, and they will combine a very stout powder-coated carbon steel build along with a whopping 6.5 inches of real estate for your foot, which, by the way, is one of the largest traction surfaces currently in the category. Now, there really is a lot to like about the running board design, and it's probably why most factory trucks come equipped with running boards as opposed to a different design altogether. Sure, with the Bronco, you do see some rock sliders out there, but the running board seems to be the prominent choice. Now, a running board, much like our previous option, the side step bar, is not going to really offer any functional protection like the rock sliders I just briefly mentioned, so definitely keep that in mind. Now, they're also going to be a little challenging to access on those lifted Broncos out there, since most running boards don't really drop down too far off the cab. So if you're dealing with a big lift, big tires, you might want to think about our next option instead. But if you dig the abundance of traction from tip to tip, you like that clean kind of Baja inspired look, it's really hard to beat the timeless design of a running board. Up next, we have the solution for Bronco owners out there running bigger lifts or bigger tires and are looking for a little extra help for you or the family when it comes to getting into or out of your rig, and that is the drop step. Now, the example we're showing you here in this video, guys, comes to us from Barricade with their NB1 drop step, and as the name implies, this option will physically drop that step a bit lower than some of our other options that we talked about, like the Nerf bars or the running boards. Now, on top of that functionality that these steps will bring to the table, I just really dig the look of the Barricades here thanks to the tubular steel build, black powder coat, and the twin traction areas. But As far as pros are concerned, well, we already highlighted the biggie, right? That is the step being a bit lower to the ground compared to others, making entry and exit a little bit easier on both stock and lifted rigs alike. Now, on the other hand, two cons come to mind. First and foremost, guys, goes back to what we pointed out with those Nerf bars, and that is outside of the designated traction or step areas, your footing is going to be extremely limited here. Now, your second con is kind of indicative of all drop steps, and that is the fact that these are going to lessen your ground clearance ever so slightly, especially in regards to what is called your breakover angle, as these are going to hang a bit lower than your running board or Nerf bar. Not huge, but if you do a ton of wheeling, you might want to consider our next option instead. Now, on the other hand, if you and your wife are a little bit vertically challenged, let's say, and are looking to kind of lessen the distance traveled to get into or out of your Bronco, the drop step is certainly going to be a great option. Next up, we're going to start dipping our toes into the armor category with the rock slider. Now, the exact sliders we're featuring in this video come to us from Barricade as well with their rocker armor. Now, you'll notice here, guys, there's really no step mentioned in that name. That's because these are going to serve more of a protection purpose as opposed to helping you get into or out of your Bronco. Now, that's not indicative of all rock sliders out there. Some will incorporate the step, but more times than not, you're going to prioritize protection over steps. Now, the Barricade armor that we're talking about here today, again, will appeal to the owners who prefer that protection over assistance and are designed to protect the lower rocker area on your cab when and if you do some hardcore off-roading or rock crawling. And that protection is going to come from the absolutely tank-like plate steel construction, fully welded and then powder-coated black for corrosion resistance, all at a relatively affordable price point. So if you're the type of owner out there who'd prefer to protect your rockers on your rig along with the clean look and don't mind the lack of a functional step, well then rock sliders are the only way to roll. Last but not least, we have the fanciest and the priciest of the bunch, and that is what is called a power step. Now, as the name implies, these power step options typically deploy automatically when the door is open, and then automatically retract whenever the door is closed. Not only is this super convenient and very cool, but from a functionality standpoint, these power steps typically drop that step even lower than those drop step options we mentioned earlier, making entrance or exit of your Bronco even easier. Now, on top of that, with the step retracted, it makes for a super clean look as the steps are often tucked up and out of the way against the pinch weld. Now, you can find these in a few different flavors here on the site, including options from Rough Country, along with AMP Research, but the options we're talking about here today, or featuring that is, are from the gang over at Rockslide Engineering. Now, what makes the Rockslide option so unique is the fact that you're combining a power step with functional rock slider or armor, which to me is going to be the best of both worlds. You're getting absolutely bomb-proof construction thanks to the 10-gauge steel build, tough powder coat, and reinforced mounting design. Now, the other powered options from AMP or Rough Country, while still very, very nice, are simply just going to act as a powered step, but will not give you any added protection for the rocker area. Now, you will have to pay for that added protection from the Rockslide Engineering options. They're going to round out the top of the price point at the mid $2,000 level, but if you want the convenience of a power step with the protection of a rock slider, no one is currently doing it better. So there you have it, guys. If you're looking for some aftermarket steps for that 2 or 4-door 6th gen Bronco at home, hopefully this video helped narrow down your decision ever so slightly, but if not, feel free to drop us a comment or question below. In the meantime, I'm Justin. Thanks for watching, and remember, for all things Bronco, keep it right here at ExtremeTerrain.com.